What's up, my beautiful, diverse American people? It's me, your boy, JD, the good JD, George Delata. I want to be your next president. Not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a career politician, not a politician at all. I'm a regular American like you. Cannot fund a campaign. I cannot buy likes. I cannot buy viewers, because this is a legitimate zero to hero challenge that I've put on myself to become the first American president to come directly out of we the people. Someone who never intended to be president, but is suddenly thrust and called by the universe, by God, by dreams, by consciousness, on how we can do better than the governance solely fueled by ignorance and hatred for you, for fellow Americans, in the name of greed, ignorance, and hatred, because there's no other logical conclusion to what we're seeing. So we're in this shutdown. The party that is in control of the Senate, the Congress, and the presidency wants you to believe that the Democrats are shutting down the government. What's up, my beautiful people? John, Jonathan, Derek, God bless you guys. Welcome. This is crazy and impossible. This is crazy and impossible that a brown, middle of the road, unremarkable, moderately talented, moderately educated, regular American could ever rise to the presidency in a country where we all know very well that it is purchased. The American presidency is something you buy, we don't elect. We have rich people position themselves so that we get the illusion that we're electing one of us. But the truth is, they're far from one of us. Not one of them are single moms like you that have had to go to the supermarket with 40, 50 bucks to buy food for your kids' school for a week. None of them have ever had to face that. None of them have ever had to face the choice of paying your car insurance on time or paying your rent on time. Because they've never lived that. They've never lived the American struggle, the American experience that everyday Americans live. That's why they do the things they do. That's why they can say, oh, we're going to remove everything, the people who grow your food, the people who build your houses, just based on ignorance and hatred. So again, since my goal and my solutions, my entire energy is about solutions for the American people, not just festering the same ignorant, divisive nonsense, because I love everybody. I love you all. White, black, Latino, Native, European, African, South American, Central American. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care where you came from. I love every single one of you. You know why? Because you love this country. People don't come to America to commit crimes, to be criminals. People come to America because of the opportunity that this country offers. And that crazy and impossible becomes possible in a nation built on freedom from day one. Okay, that was the only thing the founding fathers ever wanted for this nation, was a nation built on freedom. Not a Christian nation, not a white nation, a nation built on freedom. To live your life how you choose, to be the religious person you want, or non-religious person you want. That's called freedom. And I, because of the white you see in my beard, I lived during a fairly short period of time where we were proud to call ourselves the melting pot of the world. And guess what? Our government operated with a surplus, not the deficits of theft that we're seeing. There was just a news report where Elon is approaching $1 trillion in wealth from the Doge theft and viruses that they installed on our government systems to steal quietly, effectively, forever. Because it wasn't about fraud and waste, it was about money, about theft, about finding it and how to get it. And there's the evidence. $1 trillion this motherfucker's gonna have, while they're taking lunch away from children in school. I couldn't sleep if I knew that I had $1 trillion and there were children in my nation that couldn't get health care, that couldn't eat, that couldn't sleep in a safe home, while I have $1 trillion. That's just malevolent evil. All right? So, yeah, I want to see all your comments, guys. I love every single one of you. And we, the people, are the ones that are the masters of this nation. Not a president, not a Senate, not a Congress, as Franklin Delano Roosevelt so eloquently put it. It's us, it's the people, it's the voters. That's why they're after the vote and trying to weaponize and minimize your vote. States like Missouri, they're no longer even a constitutional republic. Their beta boy bitch governor overturned the will of the voters because they didn't like what the voters wanted. That's not a constitutional republic. That is an autocracy beneath a fledgling dictatorship, just like in Cuba. It's the same playbook. So, getting back to the decisions. The shutdown is an opportunity for them to fire more, according to Project 2025. He's even openly mentioned that he's bringing the guy in because now they're doubling down on the ignorance and hatred on the fact that they do not respect our Constitution and they want to replace it with Project 2025, which we are undertaking. And what did you expect from the president who had a bad TV show about firing people? Guy's not about empowering, he's about firing. And you're seeing the results. So again, back to the solution. And again, and it comes out of this Bad Bunny a meltdown, which is, I mean, just glorious, just beautiful. I mean, to see how they are falling apart and the vast ignorance and not even knowing that Puerto Ricans are Americans shows the vast disconnect and the decades upon decades of relentless attacks on education and in dumbing people down so they can impose their draconian mumbo-jumbo religious techno dictatorship on a nation built on freedom. So we're going to end that. We're going to end that. We're going to stop all that stupid shit. And we the people are the only ones that can do it. And that's why I need you guys to share my words. Share the voices of independent, free taco seasoning and spray tan. Yeah, probably. He's got something about us. He's got something about Latinos. I mean, probably. I know. There was probably some beautiful Latina who spurned him, who told him to go kick rocks, just like Stephen Miller, and the other PD who did this embarrassing grandstanding in front of generals, who had to be holding their laughter at seeing these made-up people on stage wearing more makeup than Broadway actresses on stage talking to them about masculinity. I mean, you can't write this shit, man. A few years ago, I did this little comic book called The Book of Ass, which was just out of this weird cartoon that I started drawing whenever I heard someone say, use the word ass in an expression like dumbass, smartass. I did little cartoons. You can look at it. It's thebookofass.com. There's still stuff out there. But I actually went and did a little stand up based on that comic book, and you know, and it was a time where the material came fairly easily, but I did it too early. I should have done the Book of Ass now, because the material just writes itself. That's why they hate the comedians, because they don't have to write any material. They're providing it. It's coming out generically. So, getting back to this, because I digress. The Bad Bunny meltdown about the language and that's it. I mean, that is the crust. That is the crust. The ignition that fuels the ignorance and hatred. I figured it out. That's what fuels the ignorance and hatred. Because, of course, every conversation people have, everything in this world revolves around insignificant, pathetic white people. So whenever they hear someone speaking in a different language, of course they're talking about you. Of course, because you are the only things that matter in this world. So, I understand why you feel so upset when you hear languages you don't understand. I know.
Yeah, I don't like them languages. People speak a language I don't understand. They talk a language I don't understand. And I don't like when people speak languages I don't understand.
I hear you. I know. So to solve that, Apple just announced in their latest product release about earbuds that are translators. So as a first day executive order, I'm going to have our tech companies design and create a wearable earpiece. Could be on your glasses. We'll have all kinds of different ways. It could be on the brim of your cap. Something that every American will get for free, with over 100 languages programmed in, so that all you have to do is put it out, go out, and you're going to understand everyone speaking every language in this country. That's it. There's no more reason for you to want people removed from their lives, from their livelihoods, from their children, because you dumb fucks don't understand languages and think everybody is talking about you. So that is, again, one of my executive orders. That is a solution using technological progress to end an ignorant problem that many Americans are feeling today, that they cannot understand people with cultural backgrounds that are different, speaking in their native languages and in the cultural language that enriches their lives. We're not going to make it threaten you anymore. I think that is a much better solution than continuing to criminalize human beings, building slave labor prisons so you can bring the factories that you want to bring back into this country. Americans don't want to work in factories, and they know it. So they have to create slave labor. They have to create crime. They have to fabricate it. This thing with declaring Antifa a terrorist organization. Antifa is anti-fascist. So if being anti-fascist is a bad thing to this country, you need to think about that. You need to think about that hard. And it's the same thing they did in Cuba. They fabricated the crime that they called peligrosidad. That translates to dangerousness. Antifa didn't exist at the time, so they didn't have, a little name to declare a criminal terrorist organization. So they just declared dangerousness as a crime. Literally a catch-all, so that anyone, for any reason, for any words that they don't like, they can declare you
Dangerous. A dangerous individual.
And that's the same. Now they're going to do the same thing with Antifa. So if you are against fascism, you are Antifa. So pretty much every American right now has been declared a terrorist because we don't want fascism. And they are actively engaged in fascism. They don't want to be called fascists. Motherfuckers don't do fascist things. How about that? Ever think of that? So again, we're dealing with ignorance and hatred. And I think these universal translator earbuds provided free for every American by your federal government is in line with my conviction and my belief that the only goal, the only purpose of government is to make the lives better of its residents. Everyone. Not a handful, not the white ones, not the rich ones, all of them. Because that beautiful document has 3 little words that they cannot remove. They were made bigger for a purpose. They knew that they couldn't put certain things in the document. The document itself is a democratic document because I'm sure they weren't all in agreement with assigning percentages to human beings. Some didn't want them to have any rights. Others wanted them to have full rights. So they had to come to a compromise to get the document signed. It's called democracy. The document itself is a democratic document. It's a democratic process that they employed. So the Republicans, with their
Clean, because they think they put little words clean, bill,
is a dictatorial imposition of their, what they want, and their Democrats have to sign it because they want followers. They don't want thought. They don't want intelligence. They don't want free will. They want blind followers. Like what they have. Like their cult. And we're smarter than that. That's what they don't understand. We're smarter than them. So, universal translators will be an executive order on day 1. We should have them out, just like the COVID thing, rapid speed development, and within the first 90 days of my administration taking office, every American will be ordered to receive, we will be able to order to receive a universal language translator to fit in your ear, provided free. There will be upgrades available for those who, don't like the earbud, would rather have it on their glasses and embed it into a cap. We're going to have all kinds of technological innovations to expand language use so people learn to understand these languages without the earbuds at some point. We're going to elevate your ability to understand languages, and that communication alone will build a better world, will build a better community, will end a lot of this ignorant,
they're talking about me.
leadership fueled by love and intelligence. That's all I bring. My name is George Delara. I want to be your next president. Not a politician, not a career, not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a captain of industry. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an artist. I've lived my life how I've wanted, made mistakes, had the same struggles that every single one of you have experienced, if not very close. Death, addictions, poverty, unemployment, lost jobs, lost opportunities, regrowth, rebuilt, reimagined, knocked down and gotten up every single motherfucking time. Better than before I was knocked down. And that's what we're going to do as a nation. We're on our knees right now. We got beta boy bitches destroying the fabric that the founding fathers envisioned of a nation built on freedom. To impose a Putin, Castro, orange turd, techno-religio dictatorship solely fueled by ignorance and hatred for fellow Americans and humanity at large and minorities. Chicago, they're arresting black people. They're just rounding up anybody that's brown because the Supreme Court okayed hunting human beings by skin color or languages spoken. That's why in my policies I have a solution for that. Go to Crazy and Impossible, look for the videos that talk about policy, and you'll hear my solution to our Supreme Court problem. I have solutions. Not a genius. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I don't have all the answers. I'm not the only one who can do it. I'm going to need a team of the best Republicans, Democrats, Independents. That's because I love all of you. I want intelligent America, not the uneducated. I want the leaders, the alphas, those that have been too busy enjoying your beautiful, successful alpha lives, that you didn't have time to run for office. But what happened is, who filled in that vacuum? All of those sitting at home, I got nothing to do, and I hate everybody. Running for school boards, for council, for public office. There we go. There's a moron. Chicago is a communist. They don't even know what the word means, but they throw it out because Daddy threw it out for them. Because they're followers. I love you guys. I love every single one of you, even the little dumbass that thinks Chicago is communist. Because that's, believe it or not, that little ignorance right there, that is what drives the vast majority of Cubans to vote Republican. The original Cuban exiles voted Republican out of a delusional, ridiculous, moronic assumption that Kennedy was going to come back, their 20-minute failed Bay of Pigs invasion, and risk his nation against Russia in a nuclear war because they failed in 20 minutes. Kennedy betrayed them. So they voted Republican their whole lives out of that delusion. Their hearts were in the right place. They were staunch anti-Russia, anti-dictatorship to the day they died. And that's the problem. They've mostly died off. Cubans in Miami now vote Republican for very different reasons. These were raised under the Cuban indoctrination, relentless indoctrination, throughout the island, billboards, propaganda that say, celebrando más de 60 años de la Revolución Democrática Cubana. That translates to celebrating over 60 years of Cuba's democratic revolution in a place where zero democracy exists. And textbook indoctrination designed to strike fear at the mere mention at the word democracy, so they associate it with Cuban autocratic dictatorship. Because there is no communism in Cuba. There is no socialism in Cuba. And Cuba has what my grandfather used to call the law of the funnel, la ley del embudo. Wide at the top and tight, empty drips at the bottom. That's not communism. That's not socialism. That's autocratic dictatorship. That is oligarchy. It's not at the scale that can be done in America because obviously the embargo and they don't have the resources. But the autocratic governance lives great. It's the people that don't have food, that live in squalor, that don't have running water, that have blackouts in this day and age. So in my policies, I have a solution for that. Go to my profile and watch the Bad Bunny videos. And I have a solution. I have a lot of solutions. I'm not going to tiptoe around the ignorance, the hatred, the racism that this country has fallen into. Because I lived in an area where we were actively loving each other, bro. We were actively going out of our way to be good to each other. You go to a concert and there was a sea of beautiful humanity in every color you can imagine. And it didn't matter. I used to go to Leonard Skinner concerts back in the day. So I had long hair down to my shoulders. And I was black because I was out in the Florida sun all day long. Never had any kind of problem with anybody. My friends were all there. So don't tell me that this was always like this. It wasn't. And I know a lot of you did not live that time. This is all you know. You think this is normal. And what happened was September 11th. We were attacked. For the first time, we were terrified. But that fear, malevolent forces saw was very profitable. And the only way to maximize that profit was to stamp, to increase, to fester ignorance and hatred. So there's more fear. The more fear, the more profit, the more... That has been by elegant design, as they like to say. So, to end this, universal earbuds for every American, provided completely free by a love and intelligence-fueled administration whose only reason to exist is to make the lives better of every American. As government should. Government is not there to be your daddy, to tell you who to love, who to pray to, where to work, what color hair, who to love. It's not the job of government. The sole purpose of government is to make the lives better of every American. So, it's up to you. I ask you over and over, what kind of president do you want? Do you want a corrupt billionaire? Do you want a career politician? Do you want a lawyer? Or do you want, for the first time ever, to have a president who represents you? Who actually carries you in his blood, in his DNA? And I'll post it. I am the American people. I have every single one of you in my blood, in my DNA. And my promise would be to lead through love and intelligence, not ignorance and hatred. And I guarantee you we're going to become a much better, much loving, much more prosperous world, nation, than by continuing to let 8, 9, 10 people hold more wealth than billions. That's not democracy. That's beta boy bitch autocracy. And we're going to put an end to that. I'm going to break up the monopolies. One company cannot shut off a television programs from millions of Americans based on ignorance and hatred and wanting to support a pedophile groomer who infected youth with ignorance and hatred and racism towards fellow Americans. That's who they want. That's why they shut off democracy to millions of Americans. That ain't it. That ain't the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom. Debate me. We the people. I love every single one of you. American excellence, Latino excellence, Black excellence, minority excellence is what we're bringing to the table. God bless you. God bless every single one of you. I love you. I'm George Delara. I want to be your next president. I don't have any resources to do it. My resource is you, the American people, the real American people. Because when they say the American people, they're not talking about you. They don't mean you. They mean their funding, their supporters. People who fund, who own everything right now because of the monopolies that we became. So I'm going to end the monopolies. I'm going to put commerce back in the hands of we the people. I'm tired of going city to city, state to state, and seeing the same bullshit franchises and the same names and the same cookie cutter bullshit, toxic food that wasn't like that before. You drive across the country, city to city, community to community, and the smells alone of the food, the music, the sounds was nourishing. Every city, every town had its own personality, its own go-to, and that's dying out across the country. It's all cookie cutter, same bullshit, same shit. I remember back in the day they had, I think it was Wendy's, they had a same time, same place, same time, same place. The commercials of the drone, that's what we've become. A nation of drones, of followers. We were the innovative engine of the world. We used to say, hey, China, Japan, they can build things better. But we're the ones who invented. We're the ones who innovated. We're the ones who created. We're losing that in a pit of ignorance and hatred because the minorities are the ones who've innovated, who've created. The best arts comes from diverse, talented individuals, the ones they fear most. And that's why they fear Bad Bunny. Because Bad Bunny is that beautiful, talented American diversity that fucks them up. It fucks them up. Our beautiful, talented American diversity. And I tell it, they want to talk about good DNA? I'm 65 years old and I can hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. You want proof? $1 million for a live demonstration each. We'll launch the campaign with that. Think I'm lying? We'll do it live. Because I bring cojones that is absent in all of Washington right now. That's why I don't think anybody from Washington can fix this mess. They are all complicit. They are all either in the shit, smell like shit, or surrounded by the shit. That they're all in it. So we need one of us. We need what we've never had. A real American. A middle-of-the-road, regular American. Not a billionaire, not a politician. Someone with common sense and intelligence and love for you. Understanding of the struggle that you go through every day. That your kids go through every day. Elon's approaching $1 trillion. And they want to take health care away from seniors. They want to take lunches away from kids in school where they are required to be. They don't want to feed them. Because Maximilian Robespierre said it best. The key to tyranny is ignorance, while the secret of freedom is education. This didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in a vacuum. Since Barry Goldwater ran for office, he was terrified. And he said, the day these Christians take over the Republican Party, it's going to be bad. Because to lead and to govern, you have to compromise. And they're not willing to compromise because they believe everything they do is in the name of God. Just like the Inquisition. Just like the Crusaders. Just like the KKK. Just like the Nazis, who were all Christian inspired. And obviously, MAGA, which is an amalgamation of all of those on steroids, ignorant steroids. So it's time for we the people to elevate one of us. It doesn't have to be me. It could be you. Do you have the cojones to stand in front of Vladimir Putin and tell him, look, Vladdy, this is the way it's going to work. You're going to get all your shit out of Ukraine within 90 days. And if you don't, Ukraine is going to get an instant NATO entry. And then your problem is with all of NATO. 90 days, Vladdy, to get all your shit out of every inch of Ukraine territory. That's cojones.
Not coming home. What should I do? Should I get rid of the mail-in ballots? Is that what I should do, Vladdy? Is that what democracy is, Vladdy?
Because if we have his guide for democracy is the guy who poisons any opponent, anyone who speaks of wanting to be president of Russia. That's who his beacon of democracy is, Vladimir Putin. So we see that we've lost our way. We've fallen in a hole of ignorance and hatred that we need to dig ourselves out of. And that can only be done through love and intelligence. It's the only way. Beta boy bitches who fell ass backwards into wealth are not smarter than you, are not better than you. And that's why we need a president that is you, that is a regular American. Because we've seen what beta boy bitches who fall ass backwards into wealth declare themselves geniuses because they can buy companies. Motherfucker, bankrupt a casino. Give me a slot machine. Watch what I can do with it. Ignorance and hatred. And we're going to put an end to that. Crazy and impossible. I am George Dell'Ara. I want to be your first direct president out of we the people. Someone who represents you. Not the billionaires, not the corporations, not the churches. You. And in my policies, you see how we're going to pay for a lot of this. By taxing the billionaires, by taxing the politically inclined churches that are not religious institutions but arms of political parties. Tax these pastors who've enriched themselves on the backs of Americans, and all that those resources are going to go to end homelessness, to end hunger, to fund all the social programs that we need to empower our people. A reimagined small business administration that literally is a small business administration, not for companies of 200 employees or more, which that's what they consider a small business. During COVID, 300,000 small businesses affecting almost 1 million families were allowed to just die. They didn't feel were worth saving. American families. So we're going to do things different. It's a very different vision. A vision of love and intelligence over a one of ignorance and hatred for you, for humanity at large. I'm George Dell'Ara. I want to be your next president. I love you. Crazy and impossible. Share it, spread it, post it, do whatever you need to do to have people listen. That's all I want. Just let them listen and make the decision yourselves. What do you want? More of the same? Or do you finally want to take charge? Put one of us in charge. I said, it doesn't have to be me. Find him. Find her. A single mom who raised 3 kids, despite her idiot husband. And those kids thrive. A grandfather, a grandmother, an auntie, an uncle who work 2, 3 jobs to support their family and educate and empower the people around them. That's leadership. Not falling ass backwards into wealth, declaring yourself a genius, and following fascist ignorance and hatred. It's not America. That's not the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom. I love you guys. We the people. God bless you.